Hey guys, how's it going? Two-Wheel Cruise here, and welcome to another bike commuting vlog here in Japan. It's hard to believe, but it's October already, and we're entering fall season here in Japan finally. So after a long, hot summer, these cooler temperatures feel pretty amazing, not gonna lie. And in today's video, I normally have a set topic that I talk about during my commute, but there's no set topic today. I'm just gonna mainly be talking about some updates, some things that have been going on lately, and I also wanna show you guys some of the scenery changes. So some of you guys who watch some of my other bike commuting videos here in Japan, you're used to some of the paths that I ride, how they look in the summer. So now we're gonna get a chance to see how they look in the fall. As you can see, we're starting to get a lot of leaves down on the ground. And for anyone who's new to the channel, my name's Cruz. I live and work in Japan, in Nagoya, Japan, which is in the center part of Japan. And I make videos here on the channel about cycling, bike commuting, and life in Japan. So if you're interested in any of those things, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and let's get started with today's video. So September was just crazy busy month for me. It's really nice to see. So people here in Japan really like to maintain the area, keep things clean. So you can see those people there, back there, cleaning up in the morning. But yeah, so September was just a really busy month for me. I wasn't able to upload as many videos as I'd have liked. So I normally try and upload a video at least twice a week. And last month, I think I only was able to get about one a week or so. And one of the main reasons for that is just last month, there was just a bunch of events that I had going on at work. So for those of you who don't know, I work in the cycling industry here in Japan. And last month, September, we had Eurobike. So I had to fly from Japan over to Germany. And it was my first time going to Germany, which is really cool. We actually flew into Zurich in Switzerland, rented a car and drove over. So I guess that's kind of the standard thing that people do for Eurobike. And I had no idea about any of this. Like, I knew kind of what Eurobike was, but I didn't know any details about like what the location was, how people got there. So it was a really cool experience being able to drive through the countryside in Switzerland and Germany. And if there's enough interest, I might make a video about my impressions on Germany. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to really do any cycling while I was there. It was just kind of work. I was there with my coworker, and he's not a cyclist, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to really bring my bike or have any freedom in that sense. But I did get a lot of nice views while we were driving in the car. So if you'd be interested in me making a video about my impressions about Germany and my thoughts about there, be sure to leave a comment down below. And if there's enough interest, I'll try making that video. Beautiful country, beautiful area, and I really liked the cooler weather. When I went there, it was still really hot in Japan, really hot, really humid. And when I was in Germany, it was really cool, like cool enough to wear pants and a jacket in the morning and evening. And it's still not that cold here in Japan. You can see I'm wearing short sleeves and short shorts. But yeah, I won't complain about the weather right now. It's actually quite comfortable. It's very nice weather right now. We've got the morning rush commute right now. Everyone's out, all the middle schoolers, all the elementary schoolers. And yeah, Eurobike was just a blast. It was great being able to see all the new bikes, all the new products there, and just massive setup, completely different than the Taiwan show. So this year it was a lot of firsts for me. I was able to go see the Taiwan show back in March and able to go to Eurobike in September. So really cool to be able to see both shows. And I filmed a couple of videos from Eurobike, so I'll be uploading those as I finish editing them. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit behind with that stuff because while I was at Eurobike, I was there for my main job, of course. So I filmed videos where I could, but by the time I got back to the hotel, we had to drive like an hour and a half there in the morning, hour and a half back. And after jet lag and everything, I didn't have enough energy to edit any videos then. And when I got back to Japan, it was just non-stop shows. We had our domestic BMC show here in Japan. We had one in Osaka one week, and then we had one in Tokyo the next week. So long drives getting to those two cities, setting up the booth, staying overnight and doing shows all day, and then packing up, coming back, getting home at like midnight. So it's just been a non-stop 3-4 weeks of just crazy busyness. But I'll be getting those Eurobike videos out when I can. Sorry for the delay, guys. And I'll at least get this video out nice and quick because these commute videos are nice and easy to edit. So you can see it's actually pretty cloudy today. We've had some nice weather recently, but we actually have a typhoon coming pretty soon, so that's not great news. I actually have another gravel event ride that I was set to attend this weekend with my wife. And I was really excited to film that video and do that ride. And hopefully the typhoon doesn't ruin those plans. It might make the course just really rough, but hopefully they don't cancel it. We'll see. It depends on how the typhoon moves. But yeah, I actually think this is one of the best months for cycling in Japan. I often get a lot of questions on the channel asking when is the best time to come to Japan, and it's either gotta be spring or fall. So usually people have a preference. My preference is, of course, fall. I was born in the fall. I think I have a little bit of a bias towards the fall, but I don't know. I love the fall colors and I love the cooler temperatures after a long hot summer. It just feels really nice. I don't mind riding in the winter so much because you can just put on a couple extra layers, and if you ride hard, you still feel comfortable. But in the summer, you can't really do anything. You can reduce your clothes to an absolute minimum, but even then, you're still just like dripping in sweat, and it's really uncomfortable at times if you ride during the peaks. So we're cycling here along the river paths. These are my secret route to get to work without any cars, and really love these paths. You'll see in today's video a lot of the sections have gotten a nice little haircut or trimming, and it's actually pretty interesting. A lot of these places, they don't really use lawnmowers, but they use more kind of like weed whackers is how we call them in the US. I'm not sure how you call them in other countries, but we call them weed whackers, and they're pretty crazy and intense looking in Japan. In the US, they're based on kind of like a wire that's spinning around and it cuts everything. But in Japan, it's an actual blade, and it's an open blade. So I'm actually really scared when I ride by those guys with those weed whacker things here in Japan, because there's nothing stopping them from accidentally taking a wrong turn and just completely cutting you. So those are kind of scary, but they recently cut a couple of the areas here, so you'll see some freshly cut sections on the cycling path here. Or I shouldn't say cycling path, since this isn't specifically a cycling path. But yeah, the Eurobike videos are coming. I've uploaded at least one so far, but there's a few more coming. And I uploaded one from our recent Tokyo show in Japan, from our BMC show. So we've started selling our 2020 bikes and starting a registration process for all the dealers. So it's been busy at work with that. And yeah, it's just bicycle season's really busy. Since I started this new job here in Japan, like I mentioned, I'm working in the cycling industry. This is a new job for me, and every month is different. It's just really interesting in that sense that every month you're doing something new. And these flowers are interesting, or are they flowers or weeds? But these things are popping up right now, and I wanted to show you guys these as well. So if anybody knows what these are, let me know. They're pretty nice looking, a nice vibrant red color. So again, with this commute too, I also see a lot of interesting things throughout the year and some changes that I wouldn't see normally if I was just going to a normal day job and not commuting on this kind of backroads route. And that was another thing that sort of annoyed me with my old job. It was just very mundane. Every month was exactly the same thing, just constant repetition. So it's nice in a sense because you know what your work is and what's expected of you, and you can plan that routine. But it's also pretty mind-numbing at times. Whereas the opposite is true for this job. Every month is completely different. So for me, since it's my first year, there's still a lot of new things that I need to learn, and the company's really busy. So yeah, it's exciting in that sense that I'm always doing something new, learning something new, but it's a bit unpredictable, so I never know what's coming next. And yeah, I still haven't gone through the full year yet, but I can say now that from probably August through November is probably gonna be my busiest season at work. And that makes sense because that's when we launch our new BMC bikes here in Japan. We're a bit late compared to some other places just because the Japan schedule has been a bit reluctant to change and go earlier. That's slowly starting to change. We're thinking we're gonna do our show earlier next year in July as more Japanese companies start to move towards the global trend. So in case you don't know, Japanese companies tend to not want to change anything. They're very reluctant to change and want to keep things the way they are, like in the good old days. It's kind of one of the unfortunate things about Japanese companies from my perspective as a foreigner here. And I guess part of my job or my role is to be one to sort of instigate these changes that I feel are necessary. So that pretty much brings us to where we are now. It's October now. The weather's finally cooled down, and here we go. You can see the nice haircut that the cycling path here has gotten. And they just sort of left it all over the place. I think they might get someone to collect it eventually, but for right now, they just cut everything and left it on the path actually. So the path now is getting pretty dirty. So yeah, they don't really treat this path too well. They only cut it like maybe once every few months or so. And when they do cut it, they leave it for a good week or so before they come to collect it, if they even come to collect it. But better than riding on the main roads at least still. And I'm on my cyclocross bike, so we can go over pretty much anything, no problems. And as for plans for moving forward, I'm really excited. Last night, the new GoPro Hero 8 was announced, and I immediately pressed the pre-order button. So I've been waiting to upgrade my camera for a while now, and I resisted on buying the 7. I actually currently have a GoPro 6 right now. I get a lot of questions on how I film these videos, what cameras I'm using, and I actually used the GoPro Hero 6 because I got that last year right before the 7 was announced, unfortunately. And I felt like it would have been a bit of a waste to upgrade right away to the 7 at that point. So I decided to wait, stick it out, and use the 6, and I've been really happy with the quality so far. I have no complaints, but definitely was curious about the higher quality, the better image stabilization, and everything that comes with the new 7 and now 8, where everything has been improved even more. So I've put that on pre-order here in Japan. I'm not sure when we're going to get it yet, but on the website it says that it'll send out the first orders around the middle of October. So hopefully in about 2 or 3 weeks, I'll be getting my new GoPro, and I'll be filming a couple review videos, making some new commute videos with the new camera, and maybe we'll do 2 angles. So I've got my normal angle here facing forward, but in case you want to see my face while I'm talking on these videos, or maybe the back of the bike, I can put on 2 cameras and switch between the 2 camera angles during the videos. That might be interesting. So let me know what you guys think. If there's any specific videos you'd like me to go over with the new camera, let me know and I'll try and make a video about it. But yeah, really excited for that camera. One thing that's kind of annoying though is buying GoPro stuff in Japan is just crazy overpriced compared to the US pricing or other international country pricing. So the US retail price is $400 and the Japanese pricing was 50,800 yen. So usually you can think about yen as 10,000 yen equals $100. Sometimes the exchange rate kind of fluctuates, so it's actually about 90% compared to the dollar right now. So 10,000 yen should be about $90. So realistically, the current price should be about 45,000 yen, but they've added an extra 5,000 plus 800 yen on top of that. They couldn't just round it to the normal 50,000 yen. They had to do 50,800. So it's a bit over $500 in relative to Japanese currency, which is of course how I make my money. So whenever I buy things like that here, it just tends to be more expensive. Thankfully, that's not really the case with the like Sony and Canon stuff, but GoPro always tends to sort of price gouge the Japanese market, which is annoying. But that's where I want to say a big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon. Without your guys' support, Tuong and I wouldn't be able to afford these reinvestments into the channel. So really thankful to all of you guys who've supported us on Patreon up until now. With your guys' support, we're able to buy these cameras and improve the quality of the channel. And we really appreciate the support, so thanks guys. Another exciting development I wanted to announce is in about 2 or 3 weeks time, I've actually taken a couple extra days off of work. So I've got a nice 4-5 day weekend. And originally I was planning to use that time to go to Taiwan for the Taichung bike show, but it turns out my work doesn't need me to go there anymore. They're just gonna send one other guy. So my Taiwan plans are canceled for October, unfortunately, but that leaves a nice space open where I can do something else. And since the cycling weather is really nice right now, I'm thinking we're gonna go and do the Shimanami Kaido route. So if you have any suggestions for that route, if you've done it before yourself, if you have a suggestion on where we can stay, places that we should go and eat, and places that we should definitely stop by that are maybe not so obvious along the path, please let us know down below in the comments. I've been really excited to do this route, and we got to start planning for it right away so we can make it happen. But yeah, after almost 5 years here in Japan, really excited to finally be able to go and see the Shimanami Kaido route, which is supposedly the most beautiful route in like all of Japan. So please, if you've done the route, know anything about it, let me know your suggestions down below in the comments. I'm starting to run out of things to talk about here in this video, so I think we'll be ending this pretty soon. One other thing I wanted to mention though was, if there's any topics that you'd like me to go over in a future video, let me know, write it down in the comments, and I'll add it to my list of topics that I can eventually go over. It's getting a little harder to film these commute videos now because it's dark actually by the time I finish work. That's one of the really annoying things about Japan, is the sun rises pretty early and sets really late, and sets really early as well. So I finish work usually at 5:30 is when we're supposed to leave, but it's a Japanese company, of course, so but I try and leave as early as I can and close to 5:30 as I can every day. And already by that time, it's pretty dark. So I've actually been really loving this new light. I made a review video of this light and a couple of the other lights that I've used over the years here. And this light, just by far, it overpowers them all. And my dark ride home has been pretty bright recently, thanks to this light. Oh, no way, there's a bike on this path. He's actually got a Nagakute license plate, so that's the city where I came from today. So, wow, bikes are not supposed to be on this road. Oh, no way, he's going onto that path over there. Not only did he sneak over on the bridge, he went over onto the sidewalk on the other side of the road too. Gutsy guy. But yeah, so I'm really grateful for the nice cooler weather right now, but unfortunately half of my commute is in darkness now. It's going to be that way for the next few months, but thankfully you can see the morning commute is still nice and bright, so we've still got some time before both the morning and night are covered in darkness. But even then, this new light honestly makes it so much better. I used to just get by with the standard like 400 lumen light, and I think this thing is like 1600 or so, so it's about like 4 times as strong. I don't really need it that much, but man, this thing illuminates the path and there's no problems because there's really no pedestrians or even other cyclists out there once it starts to get dark. During the summer and brighter months, there's a lot of people on the path, but there's very few dedicated bike commuters like me on the path that actually ride it every day, even in the winter or any weather condition. But yeah, maybe that's another good idea for a video, just tips and stuff for cycling in the fall, in winter. So maybe I'll make that video pretty soon. Anyway, I'm done talking. I actually forgot my water today, so my throat's getting a little sore from all this talking while riding. And I'm gonna end today's video here. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like. It really helps support the channel, helps support the video. And again, let me know your suggestions down below of video topics you'd like me to go over. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here on 2 Wheel Cruise.